All right, back to it now with a troublemaker. Yeah, a guy who stirs up trouble because he has this crazy idea he should be out there defending the United States Constitution. Oh, the nerve of these people. David Kallman, senior partner with the Kallman Legal Group in Michigan, joins me now. David, you troublemaker, here you are stirring it up again. You just can't help yourself, can you?
I can't, Steve. I just live to cause trouble. What can I say?
All right. So here we are. The opt-out case, the Mahmoud case from the Supreme Court. A lot of big decisions at the end of last week, as you know, and big decisions that impact us out here in the hinterlands, you know, places that are usually forgotten except in election years. But the Mahmoud case, just refresh people's memories and explain what this opt-out means, because it's a big deal when it comes to parental rights.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It was a great decision, 6-3 by the U.S. Supreme Court, Mahmoud v. Taylor. And what it did was it was a Maryland case involving a number of families had their kids in public schools. There's an opt-out provision in Maryland law. Most states have some kind of opt-out provision for sex education and things like that that parents object to. So they had requested the right to have their children opt out of various books. A lot of them were LGBT things that were encouraging children to accept that lifestyle and to act accordingly. And so they were objecting to that, wanted their kids opted out. The school initially agreed, let them opt out. But then you know what happened, Steve? Too many people started opting their kids out. And so there were too many kids being opted out, and they thought it was disruptive. So they stopped it. They said, nope, no one can opt out anymore. And so that's what they did. And the parents sued, went up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and based on their First Amendment free exercise of religion rights, the case a long time ago, about over 50 years ago now, the Amish case, Wisconsin v. Yoder, the court breathed new life into that case and said that parents have the right to direct the upbringing, care, and education of their kids.
Man, does that upend the idea of the left of, you know, it takes a village, and it does take a village. Look, when you and I grew up, if we got out of line uptown and your parents or my parents saw you or they saw me doing, they'd slap us upside the head. What would your mom think? Bam. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, but it does not mean the government gets to come in and tell us how to raise children or to pretend that the government is somehow the parent and the parents are irrelevant. That's what this gets rid of, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, some of the other excuses that the school district gave, besides the fact that too many people were opting their kids out, were, well, we're only teaching this as literature. It's not really promoting anything. We're just teaching it as literature sort of thing. And the court, Justice Alito, just slapped that. That's ridiculous.
So pornography is now literature? I've never considered pornography to be literature, but go ahead.
I know. It's silly. But then the third reason was they said, oh, we're just trying to be inclusive. We want everybody to be included. But of course, they do that at the expense of all of the kids. They ostracize all of the other kids and the parents and families who oppose this. So the reasoning was just not there, and the justices saw it.
So let me ask you this. How does this, you and I both live in Michigan, right? You're the Kallman Legal Group is here. The Great Lakes Justice Center that you also do work for is here. What does this mean for places like Michigan that were fairly aggressive in pushing similar policies? Can there be an opt-out form here or in any state now, and that's the law of the land?
Absolutely, Steve. And we have prepared an opt-out form that's Michigan-specific right now, but we will have up within a day or so a nationwide opt-out form. It'll be posted on our website, kallmanlegal.com, and you can go and get this opt-out form. It's a one-page thing. You can fill it out, put your children's names, take it to your school district, make sure somebody signs at the school district. There's a spot for the school to sign, acknowledging they received it. Then they have to opt out. So Michigan has a very similar law, and many states have these opt-out laws. And this is now affirming the right of parents to do this. And frankly, thousands of parents should be doing this if you have kids in the public schools. If you're a grandparent and you know your grandkids are in the public school, maybe your kids or the parents don't know. Let them know that this is available and that they have this right, and they can have this opt-out form submitted to the state, and we can go from there.
You can find that again at kallmanlegal.com. That's Kallman legal, kallmanlegal.com. You can find opt-out forms for Michigan today. For the rest of the country, before the 4th of July is what I'm hearing here, David. So it'll be available before the end of the week. That's good news. All right, so that's a big win.
Yes.
What else is on your radar? I know you're always out there looking for trouble. It's who you are, David. You can't avoid it. I get it. What else is going on that's important to the listeners and viewers today?
Well, we have a number of other cases going on. A case down in Texas, but we're hoping things will be resolved soon. We will let you know and keep you informed, and the listeners and viewers here of what's happening. But that'll be a big case. Also, that frankly, one of the biggest decisions the court made last week was the one slapping down the right of district judges to just willy-nilly issue nationwide injunctions against whatever the case is in front of them, against the government. And so you could have one local trial district judge in Maryland or Washington, D.C., issue an injunction that stopped things nationwide. That's ridiculous. And the Supreme Court struck that down. That was the CASA decision last week.
And yet I saw one hit the headlines today. Federal judge blocks Trump's immigration policy on Haitian protections of temporary protected status for 520,000 Haitians. Did it again. I don't think these things stand anymore. I think the Supreme Court could take that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand it, Steve. I mean, this case just came out last week, and here's a district judge ignoring the U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah. I have a feeling there will be an emergency appeal to whatever district they're in the federal court system, and that's going to get slapped down very quickly.
That'll be gone. By the way, one last thing about those decisions and the case you just cited it's about birthright citizenship. That wasn't decided. We'll see where that ends up. Probably not going to be a win for the president, but we'll see. But Ketanji Brown Jackson was absolutely slapped down by Amy Coney Barrett in a way that I've never read, never seen. She got ripped. Basically, your arguments are so stupid, we're not even going to address them. And that was signed by 6 of the justices. They are over her. They're tired of her already. Other people saying it was written like a middle school social media post.
Right.
That's what they called it.
It was astounding, Steve. I can tell you, over 40 years of practice in this area, and I've read thousands of decisions at this point. And, I think I'm as familiar as most attorneys that practice in this field around the country. I've never seen anything like it. To have another justice say to Justice Jackson Brown, you're in favor of knocking down the imperial presidency, the imperial executive, all at the same time you're saying, let's have an imperial judiciary. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. And it's kind of the talk of the legal community right now. Yeah, there's obviously big rifts within the U.S. Supreme Court right now, no question.
Well, you need some collegiality in there because, the next case that comes along, you might want to try to lure some folks across it. That's over. She doesn't have any allies. I'm not even sure the 2 liberal justices are her allies at this point. We'll keep an eye on it. David Kallman, greatly appreciated. Again, it's Kallman legal.com, KallmanLegal.com to get your opt-out forms anywhere in America in the next couple of days so your kids don't have to be subjected to things you don't agree with. David Kallman, thank you for all the good work.
Thanks, Steve. It's always fun to celebrate wins in the no panic zone.
You got it. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. All right. We'll take a break and be right back. It is the Steve Gruber Show.